There's so much more in relationship building, yet everyone's so micro-focused on finding prospects that they miss the majority of the opportunities.
There's something that you were involved with called the Cat Cafe.
Yes. Whatever you need, we have access to it. And this will be your path, the least resistance to get there.
Hello, and welcome to the Liberty Spenders podcast. We are Kurt and Kristen Luidhardt, your hosts, and co-founders of the Prosper Group, an agency that's helped raise over $500 million and help elect over 100 members of Congress, 15 governors, 15 U.S. senators, and 1 president. And now, in addition to helping political candidates get elected, we're helping your business get elected. So business owners, what if you could exponentially grow your business by tapping into a lucrative and engaged audience of 76.5 million people that we call Liberty Spenders? These Americans spend $5 trillion a year, and they're motivated to buy from businesses and brands that share their values. If you want to learn more about this, you can get access to our new best-selling book at libertyspenders.com/free.
We're joined today by Devin Sizemore. He's a master connector and author of Connection Expansion, which we have here. Mm-hmm. His Connection Expansion system has helped thousands scale their networks and revenue, and he leads the ACES Connection Society, of which I'm a member. Get ready for great insights on building high-impact connections. Devin, we're excited to have you.
Welcome.
Glad to be here. So excited for this conversation.
Yeah, we are too. And we haven't even known you that long, but you are. I mean, I remember thinking that there are very few people who are as good at connecting people as Kurt, at least in my professional experience. He's really good at it. He has a system and he routinely does it. But I'm here to say that you put him to shame. So like it's impressive.
I take issue with that.
Hey, we are all.
How do you do that?
Is you there have some other skills.
Networking, playoffs we could have? That should be done. We'll get Charles Bird in on it. And a couple
challenge
other folks.
accepted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think what's cool about it is having seen it, and I'm so excited to dive into this today because you're going to help the audience learn how they can up their game. And I just think it's cool because just like anything else that people master, they put in the reps, right? They build the muscle. There's usually a system behind it. And so that's what I'm just so thrilled to get into with you today, Devin. I mean, just look at your shirt. I mean, it's like everything you do is down to this purpose, which I think is awesome. So let's talk about the book. What sparked your idea to do that? Obviously, you've helped so many other people write books, but why this book for you?
Yeah, the second part of your statement is the reason the book exists. I helped so many people write books, and I was sitting on one session, and they're like, "Where's your book?" And I'm like, great question. It's in draft mode. I never got across the finish line, and so I just committed to getting it out. And really, it has to be out there because my mission is to facilitate 1 million connections in the world. In order to do that, I can't do it myself. So I have to empower others to use the system to open doors and make strategic connections. So between the book, the community, and myself, now I think we can accomplish making 1 million connections.
Wow, that's such a powerful goal. I love it.
It is a powerful goal.
I wonder how many of those are people you've connected to us. I want to keep tally as to how many I'm contributing towards your million.
I want to get 10% of this. That's not much of an ask. Right. Well, I'm curious if you thought of your Connection Expansion system as a superhero, what would its superpower be?
It's probably seeing into the future. And I say that because a lot of the connections we make, when people receive it, they don't fully understand why. But over time, they start to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I love that.
Who would your arch nemesis be? Or what?
Whatever the biggest ego taker doesn't care about others is. So I guess that's a lot of a lot of villains out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that you could probably have a name for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The taker, he'd be the nemesis, right? The taker.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's awesome. What also is the biggest myth? We've all heard of networking. Most of us have been told and sort of realize, hey, this is probably something I should be doing with intention, but not everybody does it so well. What would be biggest myth that you think most people think when it comes to networking?
The biggest myth is that they go out there trying to find clients. So all of networking and a lot of marketing is so set on this intention of finding prospective clients, getting them into a meeting and quick closing them because we want revenue. And that has actually destroyed networking, right? Networking is about building meaningful relationships with people that open doors to opportunity. And opportunity could be solving problems, providing resources, strategic opportunities, the podcast we're on, events. There's so much more in relationship building, yet everyone's so micro-focused on finding prospects that they miss the majority of the opportunities.
I know I found that to be true. And I know that I have to turn down that voice in my own head when I'm out at events. And obviously, I find it a lot more fulfilling when I do, because you're a lot more present. You're not thinking the whole time, what should I say next, right? You're thinking about, you're listening, you're actively listening, participating in the conversation, and hopefully thinking about how you can add value to the other person, which, typically turns out to benefit you in some way, even if it's years down the road. So how do you help people do that?
Yeah, so the system was born out of, I guess, connecting dots. Right? I'm a visionary, so I like to cast the future and see the problem, but I like to get in the weeds and actually build the system. And I find that in the connection, referral, relationship building world, there's a lot of theories, there's not a lot of systems. And so we built a system that tackles all of it. So how do you approach your first networking meeting, the questions you use, how you follow up, the language you use, how you book a meeting, what that meeting looks and feels like, how you follow up from the meeting, how you add value after that meeting, how you nurture long-term, and how you manage all of it in your CRM. That's the whole system. And so it's all the aspects of it. And so for those listening or watching, it's really just deciding what part of that process are you struggling most with. Do you need to tap into your current network to get more? Do you need to be more effective when going to networking meetings? Do you need to be more effective in the meetings you're conducting? Whichever problem it is, then we can lean in and give you some ideas on how to pivot what you're doing and get more impact.
Yeah, I also thought it was interesting. Years ago, I learned this concept of one-to-one and then one-to-many, right? Mm-hmm. But you have this concept in there called many-to-many, which sounds really exciting. If I can move from one-to-one past one-to-many to many-to-many, that sounds like a secret. So what is the many-to-many concept?
Yeah, it's really that next level. Some people, the majority of people are good at the one-to-one, right? That's where we started with networking and selling. You find a prospect, sell to them. One-to-many is good. You have some referral partners or client ambassadors, raving fans out there. Many-to-many is where it gets really exciting because very few people are playing here. If you identify a perfect strategic partner for you or perfect referral partner, I want you to find yourself in a room or on a stage in front of a room full of strategic partners. Because if we're the authority in that room, we now have just created 50, 60, 100, could be a dozen, doesn't matter, but they're all raving fans and they're all now referral partners. And so that's exponential growth because everyone in that room can refer you to lots of clients. So instead of trying to find this stage that gets you in front of clients or the stage that gets you in front of a mixed room, find the stage that gets you in front of a room full of referral partners, or find the place that you can network that gets you in front of a room full of referral partners and become the authority there. If you can find one of those, it will change your business and change your revenue projections.
Yeah, that's incredible. Just the exponential power of it. And you're spending the same amount of time. So, we're always trying to look for ways to spend our time more wisely, to get more fruit out of what we do. So give us because I know you've helped a number of people do this. So what's an example of someone who you could share? So if business owners listening right now and they're saying, that's great, but how do I identify then where to go to find potential referral partners? What does that look like? Or how would you advise a business owner to identify what those rooms would be?
Yeah, 100%. So it's the core of our connection expansion exercise, and we target 6 buckets people can think about. So I'll highlight a couple. The easiest bucket to align and find strategic partners in is the vendor bucket. So where do your ideal clients spend money? I like to use real estate as an example. Most people can understand. So if I ask a realtor who you want to connect with, they'll give me their ideal client profile, first-time buyer, move-up buyer, downsizing, whatever it is. Savvy realtors will then answer with an insurance broker or a mortgage lender because those are their two best referral sources. But then there's thousands of realtors chasing hundreds of those people, creates a situation where you're not going to win, or you have to put down your competition. So instead, we go, okay, if that first-time home buyer is your target, so someone that's new to a career, has a baby on the way, is doing these things, where is that person spending money? And then how do we position ourselves there? So that's step one, to go from one-to-one to one-to-many. We look at the nurseries, we look at the daycares, we look at the parent-teacher associations, we look at where are these people spending money or gathering. Then we look at how do we find ourselves in multipliers of that. So if we decide, hey, you know what, daycares are great, that's a great partnership opportunity for us. Now we look at where do the daycare owners get together so that I'm not just targeting one, I'm targeting every daycare owner in a community or in a region or nationally. And that's where I want to play. So that's a real estate example. When you play in the B2B world, you're looking at where do people get accredited? Where do they gather? Where do they seek education? Again, where are your clients spending money? Identify that person and then go find an association that person belongs to. That's where you should be.
I love that. So listeners, like right there, that's a nugget. That's some gold.
That's $1 million idea here. I like it. So then you've got the book and you started the ACES Connection Society, which I joined recently. How long have you had the Connection Society going?
Yeah, we started it in its current version January 1st of this year. So 2025 as we're recording. And we just passed 240 members. We're getting ready to kick off a launch to 1,000. So when this posts, I would bet there'll be hundreds more than whatever number I just quoted. And we're growing at 20 to 25 a week currently, all amazing B2B professionals, business owners. We have a few family office billionaires, and then we have a handful of college kids and people that are looking to network with more professionals.
Yeah. Well, and really amazing Liberty Spender marketers that are in there.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, that's probably why it's growing so fast. The word got out.
Clearly.
We've said it here. You know, if you're 200 short by the time you listen to the podcast, deal will be done. We get the rest of them. I like it. You know, there's a lot of networking groups out there, right? There's the kind where you can go to a BNI in your local community, all the way up to big high ticket paid groups. You know, there's all kinds of them. What would you say you do differently in ACES to make it valuable and something that people are really excited to join?
Yeah, it's been a lot of trial and error. And so where we've landed is great. And so first, the community is free. That's a really interesting part because some people think, well, people aren't engaged. Well, actually, it's the opposite. Because it's free and you're not paying and forced to show up to meetings and forced to interact, those who do show up are highly engaged and want to be there. And so it's actually created the opposite of what people may think. The other side of it is we host Connection Blitz meetings, and the guarantee is every Connection Blitz meeting you attend, you're going to meet someone new. And so there's lots of networking groups out there where you build deep, long-term relationships, and it's the same group, and maybe you add a member here or there or replace a member. For us, our guarantee is every meeting you show up with, you're going to meet a new person. And so we're really about facilitating new connections and new conversations. And then beyond that, we have amazing expert interviews in the group. And we have my whole masterclass, email templates and everything. It's all available. It's all free.
That is pretty powerful. So now you're pitching this ACES to a room full of aliens, and they don't understand what human networking is. How would you explain its value in one sentence?
Whatever you need, we have access to it. And this will be your path to least resistance to get there.
I keep trying to ask him weird questions to stump him, and he nails them.
He's like, knocking it out of the park.
I gotta up my game here.
Nice.
And what do you think is the next iteration for ACES as a hub for networking?
Yeah, it's all scaled now. So, we're launching the Blitz to 1,000. I think, we're starting to see organic growth just from members inviting members. At 1,000, I think that becomes an exponential growth. The goal is to grow the group to 10,000. We're not really looking to change a lot inside the group other than based on member feedback. So every meeting, if someone suggests something that we think is awesome, we'll test it. And if the test works, we'll implement it. So we're always adapting based on feedback. But there's no big changes we want to make. It's really just scale at this point so we can increase impact.
All right. Well, this is the gotcha moment. So I was looking around for good questions, and I discovered this thing I didn't know about you. There's something that you were involved with called the Cat Cafe.
Yes.
So it sounds either really weird or super fun. So what's the story of the Cat Cafe?
Yeah, this is my favorite conversation on interviews. I saw a YouTube video.
That means you're not the only one to find it.
No, it's great. I saw a YouTube video years and years ago on a cat cafe in Japan. And in Japan, the idea is, right, you go to this cafe, you pay per hour to spend time with the animals. And I watched it and I was like, man, there's something to that, because there's not really an avenue for people to interact with the animals where they're not feeling pressured to adopt if you go to the Humane Society or places like that. So I had that in the back of my head of like, cool experience. I like animals. That's great. We went on vacation. We went to one in Hollywood, my wife and I, and we sat there, and I'm running the numbers as a business person going, man, these guys are making $3,500 a day with their cat cafe. She's a mural artist. And so she's looking around going, man, this is okay designed, but not really. So we could design it better. We then went to Disneyland, where you're immersed in the client experience and, smells and sights. And so all that's marinating. We came back, signed a lease 30 days later, opened 60 days later, sold it to an employee 6 months later. And so we had a coffee shop, snack place up front. We had a cat lounge where you pay per hour to hang out with the animals. We also had an adoption arm where we partnered with a nonprofit. We had an event center upstairs. Super random, crazy business project, worked really well. Still in business today. She's rebranded. She paid us off a year early. She's expanding. So really interesting business. All my friends thought I was crazy. We did prove them wrong on that one. And so it was a fun project.
Hey, business owners, did you know there's 76.5 million faith-based and conservative consumers that are looking to support brands that align with their values?
That's a $5 trillion opportunity. And if you're not tapping into it, you're leaving money on the table. Our new book, Liberty Spenders, is your ultimate guide to reaching this influential audience using conviction-driven marketing.
That's right. We break down real-world strategies that successful brands are using right now to connect with this audience authentically, build trust, and drive long-term business growth.
So if you're truly serious about standing out in today's crowded market, grab your copy today on Amazon or visit libertyspenders.com. And don't miss out on this revolutionary strategy called conviction-driven marketing. Well, still in business, so maybe, just maybe, it's your biggest life regret that you aren't the cat cafe mogul right now.
It's, I'm not sure I enjoy retail.
Yeah.
Well, I love that Kurt asked you this, and obviously other people have too, but I think what's cool about it, and, having got to spend some time with you, Devin, is just, you have such a passion for business and entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs. And so I just think I just love this. And I love the story of it. It's like, hey, I saw an idea. I thought, all right, how could I spin this up? I'm not afraid to try it. Let's go. So I want to ask you, because I know that you've owned a variety of companies. And I think you told us you've worked with over 700 businesses. So what learnings do you have to share? Do you have a favorite story? Anything pulled from that that you'd like to talk about? Because again, you've seen so much and you have such a heart, I know, for helping other businesses.
Yeah, I like to talk about the M's when it comes to business. And I think this is a good reference point on some of the highlights of lessons learned. So you've got to have money. So if you don't have your revenue figured out, you've got to get that sorted out. So you need to understand sales and marketing. Without money, the business isn't going to function. You have to have momentum. A lot of businesses fail here because when you get momentum, you get overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, you then start to try to fix stuff. But you actually need to ride that momentum because that's what's going to carry you through the growth. Mentorship, you need it, but you need to be careful. And so you have to plug into places where people have done what you're doing ahead of you or in different industries, and so that you can get feedback. The disclaimer there is don't just take advice from mentors and implement it. You have to apply it to your situation. I definitely made mistakes where I just jumped all the way left because a mentor said to, and I probably should have like stepped left. So still right direction, but not as dramatic. And then there was a fourth M. I'm drawing a blank. So you can have those.
Yeah, 3 M's is still good. I think that thought about momentum is interesting. It's almost feels a little counterintuitive because there's a lot of emphasis on, process, et cetera. And the idea that, well, no, you need to ride this and just deal with maybe the duct tape nature of it is a little counterintuitive, I think. But I like it. And, anything that's going to help a business be successful is good in my book.
So I'm curious, if we go back to connecting with people, you talked about one challenge that people have, which is they go somewhere and they have their head set on looking for prospective clients. Is there another common mistake that you feel like you'd want to highlight that people make when they go into these rooms and they're trying to make connections with people?
Yeah, I think they try to get married on day one, using a relationship analogy, right? I think they go to the event and they get so deep into these conversations and they're really hoping to accomplish something there. Your only goal at an event is to meet as many people as you can, and you've got to get their contact info. Like, that's your goal. So if there's 50 people in the room, your challenge is how many of them can you meet and how much contact info can you get? Then you can follow up. Then you can use the right language and nurture. You're not going to get in that room and have this deep, meaningful, hour-long conversation and then hope that it turns into something magical. Like, that's great and it feels good. But your goal in networking, it is a volume game, and then you need to capture the data so that you can follow up because, hint, the other person's not going to. And so you got to control what you can control in the situation.
So that's very good insight. And you've got your step-by-step system to help people know then, okay, how am I going to put those guardrails up so that I can be the one that follows up? Because we've all been in those conversations. What was like the most amazing connection ever, and you saw some synergies. Like, yes, let's definitely do a follow-up, right? Zoom, or if you're in person, let's get together for coffee. And then life gets busy and you just, doesn't matter if you're using like Siri reminders or whatever, things just happen. So I think that's great because there are things we can control and we can build some processes to help us so that we can be effective with that time. Because that's the worst feeling, right? Is you go, especially if you're going to a conference, you spend the money, you're away from your family, you travel, you get there, you meet the people, you get the business cards, you do the iPhone bump, right? To exchange contact information, and then crickets, like then nothing happens. So that's a really good call out and good insight. How can somebody listening here and they're thinking, okay, this sounds good. Can you share a success story of someone who was clearly doing it all wrong? They were going to all the places, right? Trying the things, but either through a lack of system or intentionality, and how your system is helping them to change that.
Yeah, I'm based in Reno, Nevada, and the joke here is if you go network, you're going to hear people use these 4 questions because I teach 4 questions. What do you do? How long have you been doing it? Based on how long, what'd you do before? Or you must love what you're doing, and then how can I help you? Some version of that was very quick, but 4 questions. When you go to a Reno networking event, you will hear those 4 questions because I've worked with so many people in this specific market that what will happen is they'll be like, oh, you've worked with Devin, or you've been to a workshop, or you've been to a training. And so having a set of questions is really good for introverts because it gives you a game plan. And so you don't have to stumble through the weather and sports teams and the food and whatever other weird thing you're trying to ask about. You can just hit your questions and get out. For extroverts, it's great because you can shut up and you can ask the 4 questions and listen. And so either way, it's a win. And then the key is exactly what you mentioned. You have to follow up. You've got a time block tonight or tomorrow, the time to follow up. If you're going to go to a big event, like I was just at the National Speaker Association event, I time blocked 2 days of follow up to get through the data and the follow up to make sure that I use the information I gain. And then the really big secret is the message you send. And so this is a great takeaway for everyone listening. This script and all these other scripts are available in ACES and in my book as well. So the script is, it was great meeting you at the NSA event. I enjoyed briefly learning about you and your business. I'd love to schedule a time to learn more about you and what you do so that I can better make connections for you. Here is a link to my calendar. I look forward to meeting with you. 100% of that email is about the other person, the value you're going to bring to them, and you make it very easy for them to book a meeting. Once you're in the meeting, you can start asking questions and navigating to find opportunity, but your only goal in the follow-up is to get them to read it and book a meeting. So let's use the right language to make those things more likely to happen.
So picture you're sipping coffee and petting cats, and you're dosing out one good piece of networking advice, or maybe
he's already given out about 20. By
I
the
know
way,
we're trying to get every time I ask, we get a good nugget, so we're going to get another one. You're in your cat cafe and you're with your mentee, and you're saying, how would you have changed your path? What's something you would have done different when you were younger to be a better networker?
Yeah, let's go to appearance. This is interesting, and I have an expert interview on this. Obviously, I'm wearing a shirt that says, "Who can I connect you with?" And I have always had this approach to business, is that I want to be comfortable and I want to be authentic to who I am. Now, if you're comfortable in a 3-piece suit with a tie, do that, be that. That's great. But for me, I'm comfortable in shirts that make people ask questions and think. I'm comfortable in golf polos with my brand on it. Like, I want to represent the brand in a way that's comfortable. And so if you're trying to go out and network, if you're trying to go out in the marketplace and you're putting on a facade that you have to wear the whole time you're out there, but that's not authentic to who you are behind the scenes, that will break at some point, and you're going to be so uncomfortable all the time. So when networking, when speaking, when being on stage, make sure that what you're walking out of the house and showing up as really relates to who you are, and make your visual appearance fit that in a very comfortable way.
Good news for me. I was hoping I wouldn't get the, you probably should be wearing a suit and tie everywhere, because that's not been authentic to me. It's particularly post-COVID.
Yeah, I think that's changed a lot.
I'm done with jackets, I've got my Prosper Group shirt here.
This is what I wear on stage. I have a hat that I usually wear. It doesn't do great on webcam, but if I'm on stage, typically I have a hat on too. That's what we wear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is such good news. Such good news.
Yeah, because you were doing something different already.
Well, but I feel kind of guilty about it. I feel like maybe I'm doing it wrong, and now Devin, who's the authority on this topic, has said I could even dress down from where I'm at and just wear T-shirts with sayings, So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
Only if that's
you
authentic
heard it here first.
to you.
Later, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Kurt comes out with now, and we'll be able to credit or blame Devin for it later, depending on how it goes.
I think this is going to change my whole perspective. Well, I love it. I have one more interesting question. So, if Connection Expansion became a movie, what genre would be? Who plays Devin in the movie? And what's the epic networking we'd see on the big screen?
Yeah, it would definitely be a comedy. So my first value in every company I run is have fun. And so we've got to have fun. We've got to be laughing. If we're not, stop doing whatever you're doing. I don't know what actor, some sort of comedian. I kind of picture like a Kevin Hart going on this crazy adventure where he meets people and ends up in a really interesting opportunity that he had no clue existed. And there's just a lot of laughing and really cool aha moments along the way. That's probably the adventure.
That's a good one. Kevin Hart is hilarious.
I love it.
He is a funny guy.
That does fit. When you started saying Kevin, I was thinking Kevin James, because I also think I can picture him in this role.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll notch that up for when your movie rights become available.
Perfect.
We'll know we talked about it here first. Well, now, like we do with all of our guests, we like to go into our rapid fire section.
Lightning round.
So we like to ask everybody, you come to the end of your life, you're laying in bed and you're thinking about your life. How do you know you've been a success?
Yeah, I recorded a video on, what's your dash, right? What's your impact? And so for me, it's the million connections. If I have every day woken up and moved that ball forward, I know I'm doing my job. And will I know the impact? No, not even sort of. But I know every day if I am making a connection and helping people make connections, the impact will be there.
So I'm going to break the rules, which I don't ever do. This doesn't fit in our lightning round. If you were trying to think about a connection that was made for you, because what I find is people that are really passionate about making connections, they've received and they know the value of it as well. Who would you like to call out as someone who you got connected with that's had a tremendous impact on your business or your life?
Yeah, I like to share the surprising connection. So I speak on the University of Nevada campus every semester. And in that room, that was a referral to get in the room to speak. In the room, I always get connected with really interesting students. And one of those students is actually my bookkeeper in CPA now, years later. And there's just all these amazing little moments from being connected to rooms that don't make sense, but showing up authentically anyways. And the outcomes are always more than I expect. And so I would say that theme is my favorite connection, where it's like, I just show up, I'm authentic to who I am, I know there'll be value, I give everything I have, and then the room produces something amazing. Like, I love that.
Yeah. Well, now for something completely different. Give us 90 seconds on something that's got you going down the rabbit hole recently. Maybe it's a hobby, a cool book, or maybe you've gotten sucked into some topic. What have you been obsessing about?
Yeah, this one's super random. So I collected sports cards as a kid. And recently, as I was helping mom clean up her house, we found all the boxes of them that had been chilling there. And so I've been scanning them in and listing them. I'm selling a few cards a day right now just for fun. My daughter sleeves them and puts them in a little protective and helps me organize them. And so that's been kind of my after hours activities right now, is scanning cards and learning about that industry. I'm not really buying, I'm really just selling and getting rid of it, but it's been fun to dabble in and dig into that industry a little bit.
Yeah. I also collected cards, and they're also collecting dust in my attic right now.
That happens, so maybe that's a note. That's a note.
Well, as we end, this final question is really about giving you an opportunity for some gratuitous marketing. So somebody's only listened to 90 seconds of this interview. Tell them who you are, what the Connection Expansion ACES group is, who should be working with you, and why.
Yeah, so Devin Sizemore, author of the Connection Expansion book, founder of the Connection Expansion system, and host of ACES Connection Group. All of that is built on this idea that I want you to strategically grow your network so that you have access to whatever you want, whenever you want it. That could be vendors, clients, strategic partners, opportunities, stages, podcasts, and much, much more. You can read the book or listen to the audiobook to get the information, implement yourself, or you can join us in ACES, where we'll open doors for you, and collectively we will go on a mission to facilitate 1 million connections.
Boom.
Yeah, very tight and under time. Well, it's been wonderful having you on the show.
Yes. And I think what's interesting about this is we've tried to make this lighthearted because, when people talk about making connections or networking, you could go a couple of different ways. And so I hope that this has added value. I know it's added value to our listeners if you're listening up. But Devin, I just want to say, if I could be sincere for a moment, that I just...
Were you not being sincere before?
Okay,
everything
right.
was fake before.
That's right. All right. I don't know. What's the better?
Serious? Can you say, can I be serious for a moment?
Yeah,
Is
maybe.
that what you're doing?
All right.
Should I put on my should I be ready for tears or something?
No, for heaven's sake.
I'm somber now.
Someone needs to put a Kurt in a corner.
I know. Well, it's just been one of those mornings, as you already know, Devin. So, but For anybody listening, Devin is just such a good dude, and he's good at what he does, and he follows through. And so I just encourage anybody. I'm sure we have not done him justice with some of our goofiness perhaps this morning, but I just want to encourage you guys, check out the book, see what he's up to. It'll absolutely provide value to your life. And of course, we can all benefit from more connections. So I just wanted to give that endorsement. And so I'm really glad that we got to chat today, Devin, and I just appreciate what you're doing. And I want you to hit your goal. I know you will.
I appreciate both of you. Thank you so much.
So thanks for joining today. To get in touch with Devin, you can hit it up. I know he's on social. You can get the book, Connection Expansion. And thank you guys for tuning in. We know your time is so valuable. www.devinsizemore.com. That's the place to go to get all the deets. So thanks for tuning in. We want to invite you to learn more about what we're up to at the Liberty Partnership community at libertyspenders.com. And if you found value in today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more content in the future and Kurt's wild, wacky questions and jokes. So with that, thanks for your time. Until next time.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Liberty Spenders Podcast. If you're a business owner, we hope today's conversation gave you valuable insights on how to grow your business.
If you enjoyed the show, do us a favor. Hit like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. It really helps us reach more entrepreneurs and leaders like you who are ready to make an impact.
And write something flattering, because I read them all. Don't forget to grab your copy of Liberty Spenders too, available now on Amazon and at libertyspenders.com. It's packed with proven strategies to help you reach the 76.5 million consumers who are looking for brands that share their values.
We'll see you next time as we continue exploring how to grow your business with purpose and conviction.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next episode and the one after that.